Okay, so here comes the super important, most awesome part of all of this work that we've been doing. We are going to connect what we know about point slope form to the graph that it makes, okay? So we're gonna look at the graph of y minus 3 equals negative 2/3 times x plus 1. And remember what we learned about when the formula calls for y minus y1 and x minus x1. If we now see that the graph, the equation of the graph is now x plus 1, that should tell us that that was originally x minus negative 1. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to desmos.com. And you're going to be practicing this and doing this a lot on your own. And we're just going to click on Graphing Calculator. So let's put this, let me shrink this down. Let's put this equation in here. And here's the other awesome thing about Desmos is you don't have to have it in y equals mx plus b form. You can literally just type in y minus 3 equals negative 2/3, nice how it puts it in a fraction form for us. Then arrow to the right to get it out of the fraction, parentheses, x plus 1, end parentheses, you didn't really need to do that, and it automatically has graphed this for us. Now, here's the most important thing. We need to connect our point slope form equation to what we see in the graph. So let's first look at, see, point slope form, we don't see the y-intercept. I mean, we'd have to rearrange it and solve and do all of that to see it, right? And the graph, if we look at it, it's not clearly showing us, it's a partial point here. It's not, we can see that it's in between 2 and 3. We can see that the y-intercept is a little bit less than 2.5, things like that. But what I want you to focus on is, can you see, first of all, a point on the graph from this equation? So if we know that x, let me annotate here, hold on. Okay, if we know that one of the points on the graph was x1 comma x2, right? That was a point on the graph, not x2, I mean y2, sorry, hold on, back up. x1, y1, then we know that this is a point on the graph. Remember, our point slope form is y minus y1 equals the slope times x minus x1. So let's see if we can find this point on the line of our graph. And that point is, what is x1? Well, it was a negative x1. Okay, let's just start there. And we know that our y is a positive. We know that because this is changed to a plus sign in here, which means that it was x minus x1. And because it changed to a positive, it must have been a negative x1, okay? We know that it had to have been a negative 1, right? Because it changed to x plus 1. So this is x equals negative 1, and the y value for the point on the line equals 3. So let's look at the graph, and we're going to go to negative 1 and 3. And there it is. There's our point on the graph. From there, let's see if we can apply the slope and it works out. So our slope is negative 2 over 3, which means we're going down 2 and to the right 3, right? The negative indicated down, the right is our positive to the right. So let's see, we have, here's down 1, down 2, this is minus 2 for the slope, and then we're going over 3. 1, 2, 3, bam. If you notice, this is our next point on this line that crosses right at an intersection. Here was a perfect intersection of grid lines. Here's the next perfect intersection, which means that we can clearly see one of the points, right, that it gave us was -1 and 3. So we started here. We applied the slope down 2 over 3, and we got to the next point, which is 2 for x and 1 for y. Pretty sweet.